I left the window open again, hoping the cold would teach me something about letting go of what was never mine, about the silence that comes after. You were a season I didn't name, something between the end of summer and the first frost. Nobody warned me up. I should have seen it coming, but I kept your letters in the shoebox underneath the bed where I still sleep alone. And I read them like they're scripture, like they're the only proof I ever felt at home. And I carry the weight of almost loved, almost stayed, almost said the words that would have changed everything. I carry the weight of almost whole, almost free, almost who I needed to be for someone, for someone. For someone. There's a photograph I keep face down on the windowsill beside my guitar. I know your face by heart, but looking hurts, like staring at a dying star. You asked me once what I was afraid of. I said nothing, I said I was fine. But the truth was I was terrified that you'd see through every single line. So I kept your letters in that shoebox, and I wrote you songs you'll never hear me sing. And I poured it all into the music, turned my grief into the only offering. And I carry the weight of almost loved, almost stayed, almost said the words that would have changed everything. I carry the weight of almost whole, almost free, almost who I needed to be for someone, for someone, for someone. Maybe almost is enough. Maybe almost is the truest thing, because at least I felt it, at least I let it in. Maybe almost is a gift from a version of myself who tried, who stood at every open door and chose to go inside. And I wonder if you kept my letters too, or if you burned them like the autumn does to everything it ever held. Before the cold comes, I'm learning how to sleep through storms. I'm learning how to leave the window closed. I'm learning that the almost versions of myself were never lost. They just let go. And somewhere in the in-between of who I was and who I'm growing to become, I found a girl who writes her pain in melodies and calls it beautiful and calls it done. I still keep your letters in that shoebox, but I haven't read them now in 20 days. And maybe that's the closest thing to healing that I found inside this quiet head.